This is episode 4 by now. Do I still need to spell it out? I don't think so. The link to our Twitch is on the screen right now, where you can catch behind the scenes of all these recordings every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 17:30 UTC. Now, enjoy the video. So, what is war weight? War weight is a very debated, uh, uh, an an idea which does not have concrete evidence, but because everyone has experienced it for years now, it has somehow reached a point where people know about it, but they cannot prove it. So what war weight basically means is every single upgrade which you do, be it your offensive upgrades, be it your defensive upgrades, be it your economical upgrade, everything has a certain amount of weight associated to it. And the more weight you have, the higher you would be ranked on your World War roster. And the higher you are ranked on your World War roster, the more chances that you get harder opponents as your mirrors. For example, if you look at this one, 15 Napula, he is that is my alt account, and that is a Cold War Age account. Whereas if you look at our opponent's 15, that is just an industrial age account. So the war weight of Napula is low enough that he is ranked similar to an industrial age. Whereas if you look at a few of our other players, for example, their opponent 9 is a global age, which right, if you look at actually, let's not do that. Let's not reveal people's World War bases, but let's just say their 9 is a global age base. But if you look at R9, that is a Cold War age base. So what has happened is their global now has to hit a Cold War age base, because the Cold War age base has less amount of war weight, and because of that, it was ranked the same as a Cold War age base. It's hard to explain, but basically, it's the more unnecessary upgrades you do, the higher the probability that you will have harder opponents in your World War. That is basically what war weight is. It has nothing to do with multiplayer. So if you just want to be a farmer, it's completely normal. However, farming is not fun at all, and all the fun in this game is from World Wars. So I would suggest you to join an alliance, active alliance, who does regular World Wars, and make attempts on World Wars. That is what makes this game fun, right? That being said, so how do you make sure that you do not have unnecessary war weight? One, is war weight really a necessary metric? Yes and no. War weight is overrated to some extent, because after a certain point you will need the XP, and to get those XP you will have to upgrade stuff which you would not do otherwise. But it's not too unnecessary, because at the end of the day, you will always want to upgrade your offense first. We have went over this. Your offense should be maxed first, and then only you should like attempt to upgrade your defenses. If you don't have your offense upgraded, don't even think about upgrading your defense. So if you are following the war weight notion, it's helpful for you, because it will make sure that your offense is upgraded before you even start working on your defenses. So in that sense, war weight is actually not something overrated. However, there are some people, or including myself, in this community, who are a little too obsessed with war weight. That only works out if you have an entire team
who knows about war weight and who knows how to either manipulate it or how to use it to your advantage. Jedi Wizards is a perfect example for it. Most of these players on Jedi mm, are low war weight accounts, and because they are low war weight accounts, uh, to be a low war weight player, it makes it infinitely more fun and infinitely more happening. However, for this you need to have, as I mentioned, a team or of players who know it. Majority of the dominations community sadly is not that well guided and not uh, that invested into this game, and because of that, majority of the alliances which you join will not be so war weight conscious, and so it's not really a necessity for you to follow the war weight notion that heavily. That being said, there are still some things which I would recommend to avoid, and one of them is upgrading unnecessary generals. Generals are sort of useless, if I could say so. Like the only useful thing generals have in endgame as an attacker is to bait out Silo. Once you get to higher ages, I believe Silo unlocks in Global Age. Um, okay, yeah, Global Age. When you reach Global Age, there is something called as Missile Silo, which gets unlocked. Missile Silo is a very long range. Uh, why did it open? I don't even know. Missile Silo is a very long range defensive building that deals a lot of damage. So you use your generals as a silo bait because the missile silo locks onto the highest concentration of HP of the troops. So and your generals usually have quite high hit points. For example, Joan has 14,000 hit points on level 1, but if you compare it to an infantry which only has 351 HP, so if you have generals, usually they will tank the hit, like silo shots, and that's literally the only use they have. So a lot of the times, in your armory, it's better to not use your like upgrade your generals. Reason, their utility is not as much as you would think, but there are a few generals which I would like to point out and which I would suggest upgrading at least some. The best general in the game so far are easily Zukov, Petra, and Sunzu. The problem, Zukov unlocks Space Age, Petra unlocks in Digital Age, and Sunzu unlocks in Information Age, which are the end game ages. It takes even the players who know what they are doing. It would take anywhere between 7 months to an year just to get to space age. Another 2 months at least to get to digital age, and another 3 to 4 months to get to information age. So uh, the best generals are easily the last three, but as I said, it requires even the most advanced players or the players who know what they're doing. It would take anywhere between 15 to 18 months, which is a big commitment. And so there are some alternatives which you can do or which you can use. uh, First is Joan of Arc. Joan is a good general, a good silo bait. She has the highest HP of all the generals, of all the non-special generals. The only two generals which have higher HP than Joan are Sun Tzu and Hannibal. But these four, Hannibal, Zukov, Petra, and Sun Tzu, are considered as special generals because they have special abilities. Whereas all these others, Churchill, MacArthur, Napoleon, Joan, Cleopatra, Alexander, all of these are considered as regular generals. So she has the highest HP among all the regular generals, and that is why she is a good candidate. However, her damage usually falls off very quickly, and so she's not very desirable in the later stages. You can keep your zone of arc up till level 21 if you want to, but really it's not um, worth it to upgrade her more than 21. I say 21 because as you can see right now she is melee, but as soon as she reaches level 21 she gains a range of 3. That is pretty much the only reason you would want to upgrade her to 21. Most of the generals, it's better off if you leave at level 1, because every single general upgrade also adds to your war weight. Even though you won't use the general, I'm sorry, even though you won't use those generals, because you have upgraded them, they would add to your war weight. So you don't want to have unnecessary war weight, and so only upgrade the generals which you use. Joan, you can get to level 21. Similarly, Churchill is a good general which people use as a fourth general. So the thing is, wonders. This Pentagon is assign an extra general for to the Pentagon for defense. So what happens is, by the time you reach higher ages, you can get 3 generals appointed in your castle. Usually, there will be the final 3: Zukov, Petra, and Sun Tzu. But then some people, once they are done with their university, they switch to Pentagon, where they can add additional general for defense. And as a fourth general, they prefer to upgrade Churchill because he has the second highest HP among the regular generals or the non-special generals, but he has also very high damage. I believe second highest damage. The highest damage is of MacArthur. So the second highest damage of all the non-special generals as well, which is why Churchill is a very good general which a lot of people use. So that is also a general which you can look for. And the third one is a general which I personally do not like at all. But a lot of the community love this general. Everyone has their own reasons, but it's Hannibal. The reason I hate Hannibal so much is the only way to unlock it is via university. Um, via university, which unlocks in Gunpowder Age. Now that is one thing, but the thing is, if you don't have stuff to reduce your university time on the base stats, it requires 555 days of constantly upgrading and researching on Hannibal to unlock it to level 21. You it's such a big time ask that if you used those citizens and that time to upgrade your nation or to upgrade your civilization, you would end up being information age and having all these 3 generals fairly easily. 555 days is approximately 20 months. As I said, for the people who know what they are doing in 20 months, 24 months, it's fairly easy to reach information age. So instead of spending 555 days to get to get one general, not even maxed at level 21, it's better to use those days to upgrade your civilization and get the final 3 generals. That being said, if you want to be a completionist, if you want to be someone who wants to have 3 decent generals early on, you can upgrade Zone to level 21, the Churchill to level 21, and go use your citizens and spend 555 days unlocking Hannibal and using it. It's totally up to you, but my recommendation and my advice is still that you unlock Zukov, Petra, Sansu, and if needed, you can work on Hannibal. Any other generals are not as much worth it. The only other exception I can give is Joan of Arc to level 21. Other than that, I would recommend and I would suggest to have all your generals as low, if not at level 1, because they will otherwise add unnecessary war weight, which you do not want to have. That is about generals.